Yeah, go for it.
There you go.
I think I pulled all right. Hello, IndieWebCampers.
Ding, ding, ding.
That was easy. Great. We are going to start demos. So I hope everybody has a good time today. There's still those coffee left. So yeah, let's go around the room doing demos. We have a few people on the live stream who are going to watch remotely, and Kevin is going to be live tweeting and live blogging this, so you'll probably get bombarded with mentions from Twitter notifications. So if you have a phone on you, I recommend either not having it on you or putting it on mute while you're out here, so you don't just like buzz the whole time. But yeah, when you get up here, oh, we're not doing nothing. I closed that. When you get up here, introduce yourself with your name and then your URL, and give your demo. Try to keep it under 5 minutes. And yeah, describe what you did, any challenges you had, and let's go.
So let's see. My name is Sandro Hawk. I have lots of websites. I can't really pick one. I mean, hawk.org if you really need, but I don't do anything interesting there. As I mentioned yesterday, one of the things that stops me from having one website is that I have stuff in lots of different websites. So I wanted to try to bring some of that together. And what I got so far was migrating all my stuff from Twitter to my site. And since I did it as just static files, I just put it on w3.org, which is one of my, my work site. So this w3.org where people, Sandra, was just public file, just static file space. And so what /blog is, I will show source here. It's some style sheets, and this is the entire thing. So it's really, it runs this main.js. Main.js loads the JSON data file that you get from Twitter if you ask Twitter for all your data back. And then it renders like this. So those are my most recent couple tweets. One thing that's kind of fun and very different from Twitter here is it's really quite a big web page as we go through. I have about 900 tweets. And we just scroll all the way down, and it works just fine. So this is actually 7 years ago today. This is the oldest one there. Well, actually, my first 3 were embarrassing, so I removed those from my data file.
That's fair.
Because I couldn't do that.
7 years ago,
yeah.
On yourself.
So yeah, so it's interesting. So most of the work here was in trying to make sense of Twitter's data stream and how to. And it's really very nice. It's not like Facebook's, which is the one I started with, and I could not make sense of it, and it was missing important data. So I don't know how to work with Facebook's. Twitter's, the older things are missing, like this link here doesn't have the metadata to make the link work, but the more recent tweets do. And the embedded images, start to work fine as we get to more recent tweets. I didn't do all the link processing right. So when they have a link in a tweet like this, there's metadata that says how you turn that into the real link. And so I just put the real link down here rather than converting it in place just for today's expediency. And they've got the images of the person who I'm retweeting over here. And that's nice. Anyway, the blog style I used here was just Yahoo's pure CSS example blog. So, because I didn't want to mess with anything. So I think that's it. Any questions? Yeah. I don't know if anyone wants to use this machine. This is a Chromebook you can demo. I'll leave it.
Is this a demo machine?
Mm-hmm. All right, who's up? Want to keep going around the room? Or do you need more time?
So my name's Cassie. I just did a real little bit of work on Cassie.wtf to get my SSL cert updated because it was about to expire in a few days from Let's Encrypt. But the majority of my work was on sensible.mn, which was living in a in a subdirectory, but now it's in our home webpage. So. All happy. I was having some issues with it loading super slowly right after I transferred everything over, like a minute plus to load the page. But disabled a few plugins, like some Bitcoin stuff that we don't have working quite yet. And then I realized that the theme needs to be updated too, and that sped things up like massively. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, yes. So the blog is still running known, and it's a little, I need to mess with the images because that got messed up when we transferred some stuff and deleted the
to this site and clicked comment, and typed something. So, but I'm not quite sure how the hooks to
If I click on your name, the date. Cool. And then somehow I need to do web mentions back to you guys or something? Oh, it's built in? Okay. Slick. Anyway, there's tons more to learn, but
Go back.
I feel like I'm taking up too much time here. Go
No,
back.
you're doing fine because they're still debugging the technical problem.
Oh, okay.
So
Good.
that's not your problem.
Okay.
If you. Huh. Oh, right, you're not logged in. This isn't your, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out if there's some way for you to reply to Ben's comment and to see if that would work.
Well, I can plug in my laptop.
Yeah. Does no for replying to comments on your post?
No idea.
No. Known? Have you heard of Known? It's basically like the most often used CMS in existence. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's that, no superlatives there.
And, how is it spelled?
Withknown.com.
KNOWN.
Hey, it's totally the top result for me. That was for me.
That's because you're cool.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, I think
No,
we're back on
I
there.
literally just typed no with no.
Huh. This doesn't have a HDMI interface?
That could be, is it yours? You're clearly what you just said, those,
The parent is,
like, retrieve.
okay, I mean, yeah, it's like Google and Cooperativism.
I only have a mini. It might only have mini.
But is it open source?
But,
Yes.
This is, you know, I just have had this for 2 days and I'm gonna take it back, so.
I think you have
This one?
Kind of amazing. It has like all the.
Shit out of me. What,
Oh,
what
I see.
the hell?
Let me give you a
Oh,
Yeah, that's why it's like keeping some
Well,
stuff, like
Yeah,
people
we're
are
not
switching.
not gonna plug into
oh
that
well,
one.
yeah.
mention is your goal. Known is much farther along than Ghost. Ghost is kind of like another blogging software, but it doesn't federate or comment back and forth. It's pretty, but I think Gnome's pretty too.
Cool. I think the stream is back online. I'm giving up on my Chromebook.
Okay,
So are we?
so I'm done unless you want me to do
Let's have
something.
you show so that Kevin can actually like get a tweet out about it.
Okay, hold on. Hold your, this, I guess I just gonna be strong. Yeah,
Oh, you got it.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, hold on. Let her do it then. Yeah, this is your laptop now.
No, this isn't mine. Mine didn't have the right connector,
Oh, okay.
so.
All right, is the audio on now?
Yeah.
Yay, Kevin Marks can hear you.
Hey, Kevin. He can or cannot?
You can, I think. So Ann, why did you set up your own site?
I set up my own site to help people learn how to keep their parent or somebody at home living independently when they need assistance. You know, it's really, really expensive to go to a nursing home, and God knows it's nicer to be at your own house. Plus, if you're the family person, it's nicer for you to be there too. So there's lots of things you can do. It's way cheaper and it's way better. And so I've learned a ton, and I'm going to share it. That's what this website's for. And
So you
this
posted
is
a
the
couple
very first effort. Well, I mean, we've been trying and trying. We finally got it going after some technical problems.
Cool. And you posted to Twitter from this, you said?
Yeah, I'm using Known, and I set up the Bridgie connection to Twitter. I was able to post a tweet going that way. I have yet to learn how to make a tweet come this way, but I just did it moments ago, so I haven't really had time to learn about that. And then I'll also use the Bridgie to Facebook connection at some point once I figure that out.
Very cool. Let's take a look at your first post.
My first post says, stay at home.
Well, before that.
Oh, my very first post, that was just testing. And then there are 4 comments that have come from, several of them from people just going to the post and typing in words. And then a couple of them were web mentions or posted from their own site. I think Ben and Amy. Whoops, excuse me.
Very cool. What's next for you?
To learn, next I will learn more about the Twitter connection and also the Facebook connection. And also I want to learn about how to organize this information a little bit, so it's not just post, but, you know, I'll have to figure out, probably using tags, some kind of way that one could filter, like all the things about mobility or all the information about bars or poles or deafness or kitchen ideas. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the taxonomy is, but probably just by tagging ideas as it comes to me.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
HDMI one.
Ah, there it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I started out working on getting some.
Who are you?
Oh, hi, I'm Ben Robert.
And the URL is?
My URL is ben.thatmustbe.me. Side note, if you go to ben.thatmustbe.us, it picks a random Ben in the IndieWeb and just redirects to their site. So I started out working on trying to get my mobile app up and working again, but kind of got frustrated with Cordova's complete lack of documentation and just decided to work on some things on my online posting endpoint, or client rather. So this is my, yeah, I have a snark type, but this is my normal posting interface. However, I just added something new where I scroll down and let's say work offline. That submit button just changed to save. What? Hello, post. Let's see. This is a post offline. I'll hit save. Stored for later. Now later on, and it cleared the form, and later on, if I am back on this page, I'll work online. It's going to make a liar out of me. Come on. There we go. I can just submit stored post. It'll say, oh, post submitted. And if I reload my page, it should have, there we go, my post that was written while offline. Yes.
Very slick.
It'll still have issues of, right now it would, because when you post, it'll redirect. So if I save a whole bunch, I'll have to just keep clicking, post that one, post the next one, post the next one. So I'll have to figure something else around that, but yeah.
Save multiple.
Yeah, so you can save multiple and it'll just, it basically takes the first one and just reposts it, or posts it finally. And it stores the time when you actually hit save rather than the time when you posted it. So that's it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, what happened to Amy? I guess I can do.
I did get the email from Sandra, so I could see it download this thing.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
Do you want to do this thing, or you want to get ready for it?
I don't need to get ready for it, so okay.
All right, go ahead. Go for it. All right, what does this plug in?
No, the HDMI.
Just HDMI?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate keywords like this that are half an inch to the right. So I'm demoing this for Satra, who had to leave early. And this is a really interesting site because he built it using the Solid platform, which is the sort of read-write linked data platform. So he just, somewhere here it links to the GitHub, but he basically just assembled a bunch of packages on GitHub that provide that, and it gives him a blog, which he doesn't have any content on, but it's there. A timeline that has a little bit of content that it comes with here. And profile, which is also blank, but these different linked data apps which tie together, all running on his thing. So it's a generic RDS store in the background, or file store basically. And then he's just installed these things and configured it as a blog for himself. Can't really show how that is decentralized, but it is, because like the profile, I could log in there, except it didn't work when I tried it. Maybe I'll try again. No, I don't have any certificates on this machine. Okay, so it looks pretty at least. That's really there. Yeah. Yeah, for a brain researcher.
Oh, cool. I can just close this, right? Open it. Doesn't matter. Okay, maybe not. It's not, doesn't have enough friction to, and survey says, are we mirroring? Cool. Okay. Hi, I'm Tom Tech, topic.com, and I spent most of IndieWebCamp leading sessions and documenting and researching stuff about events. So we did 2 sessions on events. I only intended to do one which we talked about birthdays. And so there's a lot here about what could we possibly do to make it so that people can publish their birthdays in some possibly secure way, that their friends could see it and then notified in a distributed fashion, like, hey, it's your friend's birthday, and then you can go message them, of course, again, in a distributed secure fashion. One of the use cases that apparently Facebook's very good at, and the question is, how can we do that on the IndieWeb instead? So there's a lot there, and then there's more on the actual birthday page itself, which did I not link to that? Perhaps not. It's just at /birthday. There we go. Great. And that itself has a session link. But let's see. The other one we talked about events, like how can we do nicer events and invitations and RSVPs. Aaron and myself and Ben documented much of the challenges. The UI for creating events is non-trivial. One of the areas we think has promise is to start with like as minimal UI as you can. So if that means like an event is basically something that happens at a time, and then you can optionally add other things like location. Another approach is to take the approach that Google Calendar has, which is to allow for some free-form text events like dinner tomorrow night, and then do some really simple natural language parsing where you look for certain time-based keywords and pull them out and pull up the subject of the event. If anyone has any resources as to libraries or anything else that does sort of simple natural language event parsing, that'd be great to know about. I wasn't able to find any by quickly searching for it. I couldn't find documentation on what Google Calendar supports. So if anyone knows where that is, this is a call for request for that information. An open source library would of course be ideal. So let's see. In addition to that, I spent a bunch of time afterwards documenting on events. This has been like an itch for a while for me, but one of the sites that's done events pretty well historically has been Facebook, but they've been regressing their mobile web UI. So I've basically documented the screenshot of that and what that looks like today. And you can kind of look at it, what it looks like today versus say the mobile UI in 2014 versus say the mobile UI before 2014, which I think is this one, which I think was one of their better ones that they did. Is that right? Yeah, so before, here we go, here's the oldest one, where they said it has a thing, it actually has a nice map. The caption is the name of the venue, location, summary, or rather ellipsed description, and then a nice broad description of broad layout of who's going, maybe, and who's invited, and then the stream of things, commentary on the event. So, but that's a lot of documentation. What I got done on my own site was bug fixing, and it's kind of minor, but I have added the ability to have multiple syndicated copies of a post on the same silo. So this is a photo that I basically have twice on Instagram. And the first link is the one that the photo itself links to, because that's the hot link of where that photo is. So if I open that new tab, here you can see the copy on Instagram. And I'm doing this from my computer, so it's logged in, so I can see that. Otherwise, it'd be private. And what I'd actually done is, this is the second of the photos I uploaded for this. The first one I still linked to in my post as a syndicated copy. And the first one was posted was portrait orientation. And so what I want to do is be able to link to both copies of it, because I want all the interactions on both silo copies to come back to this one post. So if people liked it or they commented, those likes and comments basically, in the way that I conceive it, apply to that same photo, because that was like one instance for me. So that's how I've decided to group that. So yeah, so what I got working is, before I didn't have the ability to do multiple copies to the same silo. That involved a number of different bug fixes. The minor result is that now there's 2 syndicated links to Instagram. And if Bridgie Backfeed is working, my webmention.io endpoint is collecting all those feedbacks, reactions, which eventually I will end up displaying on my site. And that's it.
There are whole services where like they just go through your old content and you retweet it and repost it to Facebook, that kind of thing. So with that, like if you were to, in a year, if you were to repost this on Twitter, would you want it to be this post, or would you sort of actually want there to be another post on your website?
I think if it's the same content, I want it to be the same permalink, because then the conversation just keeps continuing on that one comment. Like, I've seen Flickr photos that get some discussion for a while, and then the discussion goes away, and then some news agency decides, hey, that's a nice CC by NC photo you've got there. We're not making any money, technically, because we're just getting money off ads by using your photo. So we're going to incorporate your photo into our news article and link to you as Flickr's terms require them to. And so then as a result, like years later, I've gotten lots of new comments on photos because they found me through some news use of the site. So yeah, I like that model where, like, if content's rediscovered, then people can see, like, what were people saying, whatever, 7 years ago, and then they can add their new commentary. Cool. Who's next? Your own computer, or would you like the Chromebook?
Oh yeah, pretty much. I'm local, actually.
HDMI or? Okay.
Thank you. So my name is Jessica. It's been awesome being here. I've learned a lot about building websites. And today I spent a lot of time, I actually didn't have the intention of working at all with the websites that I am now kind of editing. But it kind of came across as something that I guess I manage a website for a community band back in Rhode Island, of which I'm a member. And basically, my role as the content editor is to update a weekly rehearsal list, which the content manager that we use is pretty old. So a lot of the features of editing stuff, this would be the list that I would edit. It's very, it looks really ugly and it's really hard to navigate, and a lot of the features don't work with it. Style features of editing the text don't function very well, and it really screws with the source code. So
I've basically got my go-to method of doing it, and it works for the most part. But I kind of explored recreating it with Drupal. It was that was the idea that the master had emailed to me a couple months ago that she wanted to eventually move our site over to Drupal. Right now it is Joomla. So today I experimented using Drupal, and it works really well. I figured out how to create menus, and I can block layout. Makes it really, really easy to change things and keep it really clean looking too. I was really excited to figure out today that putting photos right into a block of text is really easy. I can just, there's an upload button. Oh, my computer's dying. There's just an image upload button, and it asks you if you want to upload an image. I can tell it the path, or you can just find it in the folder, and it lets me center it, align it either left or right, or center it, and put it anywhere really that I want within that block of text. It does spit out the source code for it, which is pretty cool. This runs kind of slow just because it's locally, I'm using a LAMP. So here's an example of the alignment. This aligns left, or yeah, automatically. I can set it to align left within the block of text, and it's pretty cool. I can edit. I can configure the entire block, so how I want things linked, these links within the menu, how I want them arranged, or I can edit the block. Just, I want to edit the name of it. Maybe I want to take this link out in this particular menu, but in the menu bar at the very top of the page, I want both of them. So it offers a lot of really cool features. It's really cool, and it's very easy to customize, which is nice. So that's what I figured out how to do.
Very cool.
You figured the site first on a temporary site of Drupal, and was able to export the configuration and re-import it. And so the finished re-importing just like 15 minutes before the demo, she was able to just add the content back into the already configured site in a very short amount of time.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Aaron, aaronberkey.com. I had intended today to do two things. One being event presentation, the other being a UI for creating events. I did not get around to finishing the UI because it took a lot longer to work on presentations than I thought it was going to. As you heard from Contact, we spent a while researching Facebook UIs and documenting those, a lot on the wiki. So I took a lot of inspiration from the Facebook UI for event presentation. So this is what it looks like now. There's a little this little icon for the date, and for multi-day events, it shows both dates. With the 2-day event, with the 3-day event, it shows all 3 days. If it's a 4-day event, the middle one turns into a ... And that one shows the last day. I don't think I have any 4-day events yet, but that's what it would look like. And then this is a minimal representation of the event. There's not much information here, and it's definitely incomplete, and that's intentional. It shows the start time and time zone offset, the venue name, and the city. But if you click on the permalink, it shows more information. So you have the same block up there, shows a map, it shows the location with full address spelled out now, which is different, and it includes the URL to the event if it's there. So I think that's the extent of the variation of things I have here. Oh, and then this event has some RSVPs. So the other thing I changed today was I actually moved, on all of my posts, I moved this summary of responses. I moved it below this line that has the permalink and tags in order to associate it with the content, full version of the responses below. Subtle change, but it's interesting that I think makes more sense now, having the two pieces of information tagged together. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with my event UI or layout now. So next, I'm going to make a UI for actually creating these instead of hand-editing text files. We'll see if I can finish that maybe tonight. And I just noticed there's a bug. I don't know what's going on, why it says that. That's interesting.
Morning till night.
Okay.
Very cool.
But yeah, the other thing that I did last night before I went to bed was I got this working. This was a test post from the morning demo yesterday where I tried to use the iOS share action and it just disappeared into the void. I don't know if I want to do this whole thing again. You guys saw it yesterday. It doesn't look any different except now it works.
Will it automatically show up on your homepage?
It doesn't stream in, if that's what you mean. I'll have to refresh. But yeah,
Will it automatically show up on Woodwind?
Yeah. You're asking me for a live demo? We can.
Yes, you just claimed you got it working. You can't tease us like that.
I do, because it's a great way to test things. Which one do I want to do here? Okay, so yeah, here it goes now. Yeah, I'm not going to push my left by doing a pano. Although actually, no, I'm going to push my left. I'm going to push my left. I'm going to do a pano. Okay. Everybody, ready for this?
Ready? Oh, Hannah.
Hannah.
Okay.
I'll send you a spot.
Oh wait. Beautiful. Okay. So, what I learned after a lot of debugging last night was that the reason that it didn't work was that there are some maybe documented and I didn't read them, maybe not documented limits on how big these things can be when it's trying to resize it or it's trying to share through it. So I think I was hitting a memory limit basically on iOS, and it didn't tell me. So what I had to add last night was code that resizes the image before it uploads. That's why pushing my other hand out is if one picture was too much.
Extra photos here.
Okay, there it goes. Resizing, and cross your fingers. Oh, I just got an error push notification on my phone. Well,
Your site error?
my site just sent me a push notification because it got an error from that.
Because the photo was too big, or?
I don't know what the error was.
Okay.
But my demo fail again. You'll just have to believe me.
That's because you pushed it with the panel.
Okay, here, I'll put the schedule. Yesterday schedule.
Goodbye, you guys.
I have a meeting. My wife has a meeting. I watch children.
Okay.
Hey, Ben.
Failed again.
Is your laptop, is your bag this? I don't think it's
Can you just do a normal photo?
I did.
Did it work? No? Okay. All right.
It didn't work.
We'll see tomorrow.
But, cool. Well, I know I'm doing tonight again. So at least this time on my web server side.
Emphasizing the phrase, I'll push my luck from your vocabulary.
Maybe, maybe. But that picture that you saw there was really up there from last night, I swear. Where it worked yesterday.
Good job, Aaron.
Sweet.
Which one?
Oh, that's what you need. Oh, you make
You have
HDMI?
HDMI directly.
Yeah, just plug that plug cable.
So I didn't do what I intended to do, but I don't think I've ever been to an IndieWebCamp and done what I intended to do, so fine. I made a little service to send notifications to solid servers, which is like WebMention but for solid, and you can send WebMention data, but you can send any data. So I'm going to send a message to Dimitri. So I put in Dimitri's URL. Am I spelling this right?
Yep.
Need a shorter name.
I do. Good, I can do that.
Okay. And then it doesn't actually verify that it's from me yet, but you know, we'll get there. Did I spell it right? Oh, HTTPS.
Oh, yes.
And then, wait for it. This should live update, right? I don't have to press refresh. I'm going to press refresh. There it is. I don't know why I didn't live update. But when you have Chrome browser notifications, in Chrome, the browser notifications look really cool. So this is the client written by Andre upstairs. So I didn't have anything to do with this except bug him to fix a bug, which he just fixed 2 minutes ago, which is why my demo was delayed as long as possible. So the message gets stored in Dimitri's server. So it discovers his inbox like a WebMention endpoint, stores the message there, and then Dimitri is signed into this reader client, so then it sees all of his messages that have been sent. And I'm particularly happy with my sending client because it works with JavaScript off, unlike all of the other solid applications.
Oh, sweet.
And now it's Dimitri's turn.
Sure. I'm Dimitri. You know the saying, cobblers, children have no shoes? I need to form like a guild or a club. I'm like uniting all of the college children. Like my day job is web application day in and day out and like social apps and blogs.
and my own has been busted for like a year. So I'm actually really grateful that I finally, like, for the impetus, that I finally got a chance to fix it and migrated from a broken version of Octopress to Ghost. And so there it is.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know about Ghost, it was sort of a splinter, a Kickstarter off of WordPress that said, WordPress is trying to be like an operating system, basically, and a content management system. What about just blogging? So it took the just blogging parts of WordPress and put in a nice WYSIWYG editor. Oh, come on. Just there 5 minutes ago. What the hell? Right. Okay. So here's what it looks like in localhost. Apparently, I didn't fix it all the way, but the important bit is it has a nice WYSIWYG editor that's kind of cool, where you write Markdown and it renders it right next to it. So, okay, come on, what is happening here? Right, so like, for instance, it's just got a really clean interface. So where it's Markdown in the center panel and actually rendered HTML on the right. Which I really like because I love Markdown. And it's just a really simplified, stripped down admin management with much less plugins than WordPress and no.
Is it using WordPress code or is it
it is, so WordPress tried, it's several forks over, basically. It's a clean, WordPress itself, actually, the team, is currently doing like a clean sweep rewrite of WordPress itself. So I think it's derived from that, something like that.
They're rewriting it in Node, I thought.
Yes. And this is a Node. This is running on Node.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Which was part of my problem was wrangling Node config files and the databases. And apparently I need some more wrangling to do. But the point is that it's backup and at least accessible, at least to read. I'll see about administer. And that's it.
I'm trying to say computingjoy.com and my fingers say computer.
So if you could go last, I'm sure. Who's left for explaining that?
I'm left.
Go ahead.
Who else? Maybe this one good. First.
That will accompany you guys.
You signed into the wiki, that's all right.
That's definitely part, yeah. Demo that, user page.
Yeah.
That counts. You've taken control of your identity.
It's literally step one.
It is step one.
I mean, it depends where you're headed.
Hey, York.
Hey, Harry.
Do it. Come on, get up there, Arena.
No, I've got, but I don't, what do you mean to demo?
The user page.
Because you did it. This is a good one. I'll set up the laptop for you, so you don't have to use yours. Come on. Who else are you waiting for? All right. Well, while you're getting set up, you want to come up?
Oh, okay.
You want HDMI or do you want VGA?
I can use the Chromebook, but still.
Okay.
You just have for.
No. Should be working. Yep. Go ahead and.
I'm Marty McLaren, and I decided I would try something today. I had a domain name reserved quite a long time ago and didn't have anything under it. And I understand we're supposed to get a domain name associated with the individual, so that's what I thought I would tackle today. I've been fighting most of the day getting the WordPress instance created under a set of subdirectories that I use to save money. So there's a lesson in that. But with Dimitri's help, it's actually on the air. It's not going to be particularly exciting, but nonetheless. There it is.
Wonderful. All right. McLaren.net. Excellent.
Underneath, I do have all of the plugins for IndieWeb. I haven't gotten to the point of configuring them yet, so I'll be doing the rest of the steps in the setup guide at some point after 6. But at least the basic site is up and on the air.
With WordPress.
With WordPress, yeah. So there are probably other things that I need to add in terms of plugins. You guys probably can tell me. But is the Indie plugin the only one that's needed? It installed about 10 other plugins.
Sounds right.
That sounds right, yeah.
Were you able to log into the wiki?
I haven't gone beyond that. I just got this on the air literally 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
So the plugins are there. It's ready to go. That'll be my next step.
Yeah, your next step is to try and see if you can add any of your like social media profiles that you currently use to identify, and then use that to log into the wiki.
That's on the list.
The plugin should help with that.
We'll find out.
All right.
That's it.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, you.
I don't have anything, I'm not really
Okay.
sure what the demoing is, but I'm
Stop.
very happy to.
Stop downplaying it because
Very happy.
hey, like Marty just got up and showed his site. And he just got up and running. He hasn't even set up IndieOS yet, so he's going to. You have a site and you have set up IndieOS.
I have,
So stop downplaying
I've had a
your
website
achievement.
for a really long time. The content is at least 2 years out of date. However, it is annotated and marked up with microformat, courtesy of Tantec. And I finally got around to logging into IndieWebCamp with my website. Is that the thing I should show?
Yeah.
Where is that?
I think we should go to IndieWebCamp.com.
And I started creating my page. So I signed in already. Or I can't authenticate on here, can I? Wow, do I have anything? I don't want to log in with anyone. I don't know anyone.
Well, so you can show that it's correctly found that you've set up your Twitter and your GitHub.
Set it up.
But then if you try and click it, what happens?
It'll want me to log in. I'm not going to do. Partly because I don't remember my password.
Okay.
However, I am logged in. I'm on IndieWebCamp. I'm a user. I haven't managed to
Yeah, there you
get
go. Go to
myself.
recent changes and find your user page.
Is it in the history?
Recent changes on the column on the bottom. You should find yourself somewhere in that list.
Ta-da. Hi, my name is Irina Bolshevsky.
Proof that you've logged into Wiki.
I've logged in like this. And you guys should all check out redecentralized.org. One of my side projects. What? I did. I said .org. Capitalism taking over the world, kids. And that doesn't link. Don't click on that. That's broken. But yeah, that's it.
Cool. Awesome. I'm there for. This is what's going on Twitter. I did not know that. It was announced this time. All right, welcome, Ben.
Nice.
Do you want to switch?
Something or yeah.
Here. Do you want VGA?
Whatever. Yeah, VGA.
Disconnect it. There you go. And it should momentarily find it. At least that's what we found last time. Laptop 1 is laptop 1, right?
I basically have nothing to demo anyway. I don't have anything to demo. But I have some no things to even fail because I haven't gotten that far. So what I set out to do was to initiate to do the first web mention implementation for Drupal 8, which is the latest version of Drupal content management system that Jesse demonstrated. So you make any kind of post, you should be able to other people should be able to make comments about it on their site, and if they implement web mentions, have their comments appear on your site that they made on their site, as long as you're linking back to each other. And I have for various things that came out completely unrelated to anything and just not making much progress, I didn't get anywhere on that. So that Daniel Fight Hong Kong, who was here for the Cambridge camp last year, had talked about trying to get access to Vinculum, the module sort of most in the space of doing web mentions in Drupal 7, and he successfully got that access. We did a little talking back and forth, and so he posted just yesterday the plan for Drupal 8 for Vinculum, which does include, if I get there first, just implementing very lightweight web mention on its own and then getting incorporated into the larger module. So we'll currently see which one of us actually gets to this first. But web mentions in Drupal 8, a very important part of IndieWebCamp approach, should be coming soon. And yeah, so Vinculum, Vinculum, is probably the best place to look for that, drupal.org/project. I'm just talking, it hasn't decided to care. So all I would be showing you is Dan's blog post. So drupal.org/project/Vinculum, and I guess we'll throw that out into Twitter. And yeah, if my competing module gets done first, I'm sure Dan will plug it there.
Yeah, thanks.
Maybe it's just down.
No, it's over this work control panel.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Which one do you want? It's over here.
No, I was looking for the label.
Yeah, you guys.
You got it? Yeah.
So I took on kind of an ambitious project by trying to build from the bottom up a server and install Gnome on it. I got Debian 8 installed just with a single click with DigitalOcean, but from there I went through the whole process of creating a new user, adding it to the sudo group, downloading Nginx, downloading sudo, and I ran into some issues with Nginx configs for quite a while. I realized that I had changed the name under sites available and didn't also do the symlink with sites enabled. So that was a learning experience. I tried to figure out also how to get known on a subdomain instead of just the main directory or the root directory, but I wasn't able to test that out because I had those other Nginx configs. I was able to get at least to this point, but I had a lot of issues getting MariaDB, which was the database that I'm trying to use, to actually work in the first place. It had an error, so I didn't have the root password from the get-go, which caused me some problems. But I also got Let's Encrypt installed, so I'm hoping to have a cert ready and available for me once I get going. So yeah, I got a bit of work more to do, but I definitely got further down the path than when I started. So.
Everybody?
Hi, my name's Chris. I actually don't have anything to demo, but I just wanted to kind of share an idea of something that, you know, has been bounced around in mine and many people's heads for a while. The term that's being bandied about it right now is called platform cooperativism. There were a series of events held in New York around this, and essentially the idea is that, you know, if you take something like the simplest example, Uber, and you create that Uber platform, but enable the drivers to have a representation on that platform and ownership in the platform. You know, there's that obviously changes the dynamic of the platform considerably. You know, you no longer have you know, a capitalist startup just trying to maximize their profit. You have people that are you know, 100% invested in investing in the platform for, you know, its future and for their future as well. You know, when it comes to something like IndieWebCamp, you know, it's there are barriers to entry for, you know, a basic person that doesn't know much about hosting or having a domain name and all of that kind of thing. And you know, I've heard, I know probably the best example would be something like With Known, being a form of platform cooperative where the people that are hosting their site there, you know, have some say in the leadership of that shared platform. So while they're, you know, not hosting it themselves, you know, they're not handing over that. They're not handing over control as well as their information to third parties. So there's also, for example, with Drupal, there's the Eager project, AEGIR, and that's just an example of something that a platform cooperative entity could be built upon, because that's a system for managing multiple Drupal instances and so on. So yeah, just an idea to keep in your mind how we can get together and build something together rather than.
Several people listening here are part of some sort of cooperative.
Yes, I'm a member of Agaric, which is a worker-owned cooperative.
So are you guys doing this what you're speaking about?
Just spreading the idea. We're a worker-owned cooperative where each worker represents one vote as to what the company does.
How many people are there?
5 presently. But there's multiple types of cooperatives. I mean, there's consumer cooperatives, financial cooperatives, or credit unions, and so on. And a platform cooperative actually has multiple stakeholders. There would be the people that are actually coding the platform. There would be the people that are using the platform, or drivers or whatever. So it's really a sort of a hybrid. A hybrid cooperative.
Thank you, Sandra, for hosting.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, the platform cooperative is really a sort of a hybrid cooperative.
How do you see it working out? I grew up in a cooperative of 40 families. I live in a cooperative community right now, 15 families.
Yep.
Each family has its own separate life, It's not a economy. I have also lived in that.
Yep.
But how do you see this working?
Well, it's something that people are actively discussing right now. There is a website, internetofownership.net. Yeah, they might have both of them. So yeah, internetofownership.net. A couple of the people that have really been strong proponents of trying to design workable models for instantiating and managing platform cooperatives are collecting their resources and notes and ideas and everything there. There is also a Rise Up mailing list, I believe, that's more developer centric about building platforms. There's also the idea of just doing a normal startup routine, but with the intent to turn it over into a platform cooperative. So that's sort of a, how do we incentivize people to go out and take that risk to start some platform that's intended to become a platform, that's intended to be converted, and sort of repay them after the fact for having taken that chance and turning over the governance of the entity to members. So yeah, there's plenty of ideas to think about. Yeah.
I mean, instead of being owned by a whole bunch of investors who use this other platform, it would be owned by you. And we have been used by hundreds of thousands of people at that scale where it works. Everyone gets to go instead of paying money to get people invested in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of.
I don't want to.
We need to.
I don't want to interrupt, but yeah, thank you. This sounds like a great topic for dinner.
Yeah.
We can keep talking about this all night, I'm sure. So yeah, I think that's everybody. Thanks so much. That takes us to the end of the camp.
Just a quick little comment.
Sure.
Sorry, I had to be a WCC stuff yesterday and today. Terrible. But we did get, I know like a lot of, I think everything here is great, I'm glad it's still working, and people do having, like weird crypto security problems. We have at IndieWeb started a research project on looking at security aspects of decentralized having touch, it's hard to get access to TLS, majority of these systems are coded on before. We have pointed in the UN, maybe a few months to actually around doing anything about it. Hopefully, if you have any questions, there's a great amount.
And
You just ask me questions. Can you tell us a little more about this?
Harry, can you get close to the mic?
Oh, yeah. So, they're relevant. Okay, so, I mean, the problem is that,
Can you show something on the screen?
yeah, I mean, I can give you the context.
I know it's not that.
We have my computer may or may not, mine, may not actually.
I can hook up this Chromebook.
But yeah, so effectively, I think, you know, I'm not sure where W3C standards are in the space, but it's pretty clear,
You know, people will eventually get an agreement on how to do, where is HI? It's somewhere on the side. People should get an agreement on federation and a basic syntax. Even there's different communities, you have different syntaxes and different federations. Eventually one will become predominant regardless of whether it's standardized. And you know, there's still a lot of activity in the space, but one thing we noticed is that if you look at the last round of activity we had in the space, just sort of pre-IndieWeb, when you had, can I turn that on? Let me see if I can. When we had, oh dear. Usually that works. Why is that not working? Say again? Yeah, sorry. Anyways, I can just describe real quick because it takes forever, but it's not too much interesting. But basically, one thing that we were getting kind of worried about is that you do have a lot of essentially key issues, right? So if you want to make sure you don't get spam, so that got brought up in the description of web mention, the register, how do you prevent spam? How do you establish sort of networks of trust? This also came out with the sort of Solomon protocol stuff that I think some people are revisiting in IndieWeb context. You know, how do you make sure that you don't, you know, how do you basically maximize privacy, which is minimizing the amount of key data that gets shipped out there, and minimize, maximize security and maximize privacy while still doing things in a decentralized fashion. And it just occurred there hadn't been enough cryptographers look at this and privacy experts. So you got a bunch of privacy experts and cryptographers who look at it. They're going to be looking for the next 3 years. So hopefully they have some time to talk to you guys. If you're ever in Europe, it's George Denises at Yale is the leader of the privacy aspect. And the security aspect is Karthik Bhavan and Nadeem from CryptoCat, some of you may know, at INRIA. Their general feeling is that all the work's very new, but what they'll do is they're trying to look at basically, you know, whenever you want to communicate privately, there's sort of two distinct things, and we want to keep them separate. One is the key exchange mechanism. So how do you both display keys to each other, and how do you change keys? How do you share keys? The proposal that we're most interested in is a proposal called Connix, which has been written down and has some code and has a code base called Coname and GitHub. So Connix basically uses what essentially is similar to CertTrans or blocking. Basically, here's a key, and whenever you change the key, you basically use a Merkle tree to record the key changes. And then it has some privacy enhancing stuff on top of it to make sure you can't just like take everyone's key. We can only query keys that you're kind of authorized to query. And there's maybe possibly some more lightweight approaches. That seems a little bit heavyweight, but that's what we're going to be looking at first. If people are interested in learning more, we'll be sponsoring a blockchain summer school in Greece, of all places, during the summer, which people can come to. And then the second thing we're looking at is one question, which is more of a Tor-like question, I guess, is, you know, if I'm sharing all this data, I want to share it anonymously or share it so that people can't like intercept the decentralized messages. How would I do that? And we're looking primarily at techniques for what's called mixed networking there. So mixed networking basically would encrypt your messages, do what's called some kind of padding to make them more or less the same size, break them up if they're really big, and ship them off at uniform temporal intervals and reassemble on the other side. We will have some of the open source stuff around the mixed networking ready, I would say, probably by the end of summer. The key exchange Connix stuff you can kind of use already, but probably wouldn't be actually ready to ship at the end of the year, if not a little bit later. That being said, I think it would be really good if the IndieWeb people had pointed the researchers in this direction, told them about the IndieWeb, told them about IRC, gave them a brief intro. It's pretty new to most of them. Most of the researchers aren't really plugged into grassroots stuff.
That being said, I think they're interested in, and I think you have like, oh, like how do I do this key thing safely, or what size key should I use, and what algorithm should I use, all these sort of questions, which come up a lot when you're designing protocols. I think they would be really, they're happy to talk, and it's part of like their mission for the next few years. So that would be cool. And I also tried to install, I'm working on WordPress now because I couldn't get the GitHub middleman stuff working. But I will try to have IndieWeb enabled site by a day or two. So I do have a micro format markup set already, but it's dated. There's a repo? Yeah, so is everyone at IndieWeb RC? I'll just drop it.
Cool, thanks, Terry. So that is the end. Yeah, with that, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for everybody who stayed all the way through. And thanks to the venue host, MIT.
Sandra and Amy.
Sandra and Amy from MIT. Thanks for hosting us here. Thanks to the sponsors.
Who got us the food?
Sponsors got us the food, NLNet and Sovereign. So big thanks to them. That was great to have lunch both days this time. I think that worked out well instead of trying to get the whole group to go out. So happy we were able to pull that off. And yeah, there's not too much cleanup, but it would be great if we could just get everybody to make sure that there aren't random cups and stuff left around. Am I forgetting anything?
Try and leave the space like you found it. Better.
Better than we found it, even though the last group left their lunch in here.
Exactly.
Amy, should we set the desks back, or is that okay to leave it like this? Like, what's the?
Yes, they were in classroom configuration. Oh, so this is the layout we want.
Okay. I suppose I should know that, huh?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Are we gonna have? Should we do unofficial meetup somewhere after
tonight?
Yeah.
If people want, I was just gonna go to Flower, which is kind of a bakery place, but they have like lots of good things, including vegan things, and it's like right on Mass Ave, I think. Yeah. It doesn't. They don't have alcohol, but it's like a. It's kind of early, but anyway.
Yeah.
They're open until 8, and then if people want to get drinks somewhere else, they can do that. So that's the proposal.
Yeah, and I don't know who is planning on actually sticking around tonight anyway. I know some people are heading out of town, but others are sticking around for weekend events.
Are you staying for the meeting too?
Hmm?
Are you here for the
Yeah,
meeting?
I'm leaving Wednesday night
Okay.
after the second session.
I'm here for Friday morning after your Wednesday night. We should hang.
Yes, I have got nothing planned apart from lots of work.